I'm Jessica Mikowski, mindset coach, co-founder of Yogi Triathlete, and host of the Awake Athlete podcast. Welcome to Season 6, The Road to El Cruce. This season is a living documentary, my journey to a 3-day 100K stage race through the wild terrain of Patagonia. It's not just about endurance training, it's about exploring the mental, emotional, and spiritual edges that shape us. There's no set schedule. Episodes will drop as the layers peel back. My hope is that in hearing my story, you remember your own strength and your own path home. This is me showing up in real time, and I am all in. I'm so glad you're with me. Hey, welcome back to the show. This is episode 10, and let's see, it's a Saturday afternoon. Last episode, we had my coach and husband and partner in all things, BJ, on the show. And man, I'll tell you, I am leaning so hard into him as my coach. And I know it may seem weird, and I'm biased and all of those things because he is my husband of a very long time now. But to understand BJ and I is to know that we met at work. So we've always had this kind of dual relationship going on. And he's been my coach for a long time. And something that he said on episode 9 about no hero workouts. Oh man, I have leaned into him so hard lately because the fact of the matter is I'm feeling really good and I'm feeling really strong. So I lean into him in the way of okay, I know I can push. I know I can grind. I know I'm tough. I'm New England tough, but it's not always about pushing harder, especially right now. So a couple of reasons why is coming back from altitude, coming back from Colorado. I felt terrible, you guys. I felt awful. And I think I said it on the last episode that I'm realizing how much fatigue I pushed through when I was there. And because I can do that. And I know a lot of you can do that too. It's, showing up for the work and being disciplined and being able to grind and doing hard things. That's not my work. That's who I am. My work has always been go out on top, soften, open your heart, be compassionate. And so cultivating those qualities has really allowed me to find balance in my life. And I think also just to be an authentic teacher, a mindset coach, which is primarily what I do, yoga teacher, mindset coach, yoga adventure leader, all these amazing things that I get to do. I love the mind. I studied the body for a long time, and now I've been studying the mind for a long time. And the mind that I study the most, is my own. I'm not perfect. I'm not always great. Sometimes I do push myself over the edge. Sometimes I do fight for my limitations. And that's why having Beej is so incredibly important, not just as my coach, but also my husband. And he is somebody who is also doing the work, and he's a yoga teacher and our coach here at Yogi Triathlete. But also he's a guy who's really doing some deep inner work. And I think that's pretty amazing. But he has he holds such just that objective view, right? His dharma or his purpose on this earth is to be a coach. He's so good at being a coach. And so, yeah, I felt terrible coming back from Colorado, and I didn't expect that it was going to take so many days to kind of get myself rested. So I really needed to hold back, and I really leaned into him. And then he lovingly gave me a cold. And it's been a really interesting cold because my body feels great and the symptoms have been low grade. But there was one day, it was actually last week, that I just spent the whole day in bed. And so then coming back from that, the next day I said to my body, I was like, okay, body, you got one day, girl. You got one day, and I'm hitting the trail tomorrow. And so I guess that was last Monday, and I hit the trail and wanted to do the workout that I am fresh off of right now. And it's this mountain here called Montserrat Mountain. And it's really legit, super technical, a lot of climbing, steep descents. And you can do loops. They're like 4.5 miles. You can do these loops. So I wanted to do 3 loops, but I finished 2 loops and I called them and I was like, okay, 2 loops has not crushed me. I can totally do 3 loops. It's starting to get hot. What do I do? And he was like, get into the car and come home. Like, you've done enough, especially since you spent the entire day yesterday in bed with a cold. And you still have the cold. So come home and recover. You know, this is not about being a hero. We're too close. Like, we're too close. Honestly, you guys, I don't even know what the countdown is. All I know is that right now it's October 25th and I'm going to be on the starting line on December 3rd. So do the math. All I know is that it's close and no hero workouts. That has really, really stuck with me. So yeah, I recovered well, actually hit the trail the next day, got another couple hours in, still having like these like little cold symptoms, but I don't know, body feels good. So I've kept going. I took an easy day yesterday and then today did the Montserrat ×3 loops. And I felt so good. I totally could have done 4. Moral of the story is, like, coming back from Colorado, feeling so terrible after altitude training, then getting a cold, but leaning into my coach for that guidance that is devoid of the voice in my head that's like, you should be doing more, you should be doing this, you haven't done any 20-mile runs, like blah, 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 blah. And once again, he has guided me to this place where I feel super strong. So I did 3 loops up the mountain today and it was about 13. It was like a perfect half marathon. It's like 13.1 miles, over 4,500 feet of climbing and almost 4,600 feet of downhill. That is so quality for what I'm doing. Yeah, it's just consistency. You know, when I was in Colorado, I was with a friend of mine and an athlete, fellow athlete in our endurance squad training community, which is one of our coaching options at Yogi Triathlete. And she had just come off of a 3-day stage race in the Canadian Rockies. And I said to her, what was the most important thing that you did, like looking back on that? And it's funny because I knew the answer, but like, you're always hoping for like that one workout that's going to give you the success. And she just said consistency. And I'm so consistent and lots of climbing. And it really points to this concept of when you know you're training for, like when you sign up for something, just start training. Give yourself a huge timeline to prepare for your race. And always sign up for things that scare you. Like, like this thing's keeping me on my toes. And it's keeping me disciplined. And it's keeping me away from the hero workouts. And it's keeping me leaning into my coach so I can get that guidance I need that will land me in a moment like right now where I feel really good. And so from here on in, it's going to be consistency. And we sat down at the beginning of the week and there's some workouts I really want to get under my belt again before I leave for Argentina. And we put those on the calendar, got a big weekend next weekend, which would be the last weekend in October. And then I'm leading a women's wellness adventure in Sedona, Arizona, which will roll me right into Ironman Arizona, where BJ and the team are competing and I'll be supporting. And then literally I come home and the next week I'm on a plane. So I've got a couple like golden weekends here in San Diego where I can get some training in and we put some big things on the calendar. But at this point, like what we decided was we're just going to go week by week. And then within that, day by day, which we always do anyway. And that's kind of the coaching that we do here at Yogi Triathlete. It's just high touch, one-on-one boutique type coaching. And that's what I get as being a co-founder of the business, but also to be being BJ's wife and a longtime endurance athlete. So yeah, I think if you're listening to this and you're doing El Cruce, like don't get too far ahead of yourself. Like really pay. And that doesn't mean don't plan your workouts. Like you might have a plan all the way to the end. Great. but keep coming back to where you are in the moment. Keep coming back to how well you're recovering, right? Because I didn't get strong today on the trail. I'm going to get strong from recovering from that workout. That's when I'm going to adapt, right? So when we're stressing the body, we're creating micro tears in our muscles and we need to repair. And the cool thing about the body is that, and this goes for bone too, like when it's under stress, like bone will build bone, you get stronger bones. Same thing with muscles. Like once you release the stress, the body will adapt as it recovers and repairs. So whether you're training for El Cruce or you're training for something else, you get into this window, like we're in this window right now where it's no hero workouts at all. There's no need for them. And so the ego or the mind might be like, you need to do this, or you haven't been at elevation, you got to get to elevation, or you got to do this big day, or you got to do 3 days in a row, and you got to do this and you got to do that. And you got to back away. You got to create space between that demanding voice in your head and what is true and right for you on your path to being successful to your starting line. Mindset work is all about creating that gap between stimulus and response. So the stimulus of that voice in your head and the shoulding, like that voice will should all over you and it will should all over other people. Don't should on people, don't should on yourself. And Eckhart Tolle in The Power of Now talks about should. He says, you know, when you say like, oh, well, that should have been different, or that person should have done this. And he says, should they? Because they didn't. Or should it? Because it wasn't. And so shoulding is like creating this false reality of pressure that doesn't match actual reality of what is. That gap between stimulus and response is cultivated through awareness. And the biggest tool that I've found to cultivate awareness is meditation. Sometimes with some of my clients, we call it breath work. They're not comfortable with meditation. That's fine. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that we're taking time to train the mind to put it on something other than the thoughts, right? So basically training our focus so that we have this masterful skill of deliberate focus. Now, there's sometimes in life where, like, for example, on a downhill of a technical trail, you are focused because your nervous system knows like, okay, there's a risk here, there's a threat here. So focus comes a little bit easier. And if you've ever been on the trail and you've like drifted off, I mean, that's how I had my fall in August that took me out for weeks, was like, I was actually revisiting some experiences with my dad in his last months of life. And then fell. I was actually thinking about how he kept falling and then I fell. Creating this space between stimulus and response is the only place that we have free will, honestly. Because when we're in conscious awareness and when we're not in conscious awareness, we're just being lived by our neural pathways, our patterns, right? Our brain is amazing. It's like, and our whole system is set up for energy conservation. Well, our brain is not immune to that. We have these neural pathways, right? And once a set of neurons goes down a particular pathway, it gets easier to go down that pathway. Most of us, and I was included in this before I started meditating, are just completely focused on our thoughts all the time. Like the neural pathway is just like focus is on the thoughts, on the commentary, except for those moments in life, like, I don't know, when you have a baby and the baby just like gets into your arms for the first time, like that's just pure presence. That is awareness on the experience of now. And that is my goal for all of the athletes I work with, is to have more experiences of now independent of the commentary in their head. And in order to do that, we have to train the mind to put our focus on something other than the thoughts. So when we talk about meditation or breath work, we're looking at creating deliberate focus through reps, mental reps of putting our awareness on our breath, putting our awareness on a mantra. So many breath techniques that include like counting, which gives the mind something to focus on. But those things begin to create a gap between where our awareness is and the voice in our head. And in that gap, I can see like, yeah, I can crush another loop. I might bury myself. So I'm going to get into this gap because I got nothing to prove. I'm going to call my coach and I'm going to ask him for his guidance. And I'm going to listen to what he says. And yeah, it works. It works really well. And as somebody who doesn't like to be told what to do, having a coach has saved me so many times. I think that, yeah, it's incredible. Whether you have like a one-on-one coach or you have like a coaching community, just having that accountability, having another person that's not listening to the voice in your head, help guide you based on what they're hearing. It's huge, huge, huge. So I am now, heading to the gym. One thing I've learned over the years is like stack the hard days. So I'm going to go to the gym and load a strength session onto my body. And then tomorrow we have a 3-hour ride with our youngest athlete, Luca, who's 13. And the kid is insane. He's such a crazy athlete. And so, yeah, we're going 3 hours. And I know the majority of that is going to be climbing because he loves to climb and he loves to, I'm like the data girl. So he always wants to know the pitch, how many miles we've gone, like, is the pitch changing, like the grade of the road? And yeah, he's awesome. So that's not going to be an easy ride. Like riding with this 13-year-old, he's incredible. He is very, very strong. And he already has a couple like Guinness Book World Records. When he was just a little one, I think he was like 8 or 9, he has like the pogo stick record. He would pogo stick in his backyard like forever. And I can't remember. I don't know what the record is, but he's got it. It's hours and hours and hours on the pogo stick. I mean, this kid was just made to be an endurance athlete. So I'm going to load on some strength. And then tomorrow we're going to ride, which is going to be climbing. So we probably won't get a lot of miles in, but we'll get a lot of climbing in, which is good. I'm going to need that for the event in December. And other than that, it's just like presence. With any big event, like I'm just hemorrhaging money at this point and just trusting and being present with it and getting myself aligned when I spend it, because you don't want to spend money or purchase something if you're in like a, oh my God, I don't have the money for this, or like you're panicked. That's not good. Because we're always training our nervous system. We're always training our cells, right? And so if I'm showing up to hemorrhage this money that's happening right now, because everything is always more expensive than you think, I'm training my nervous system to see spending money as a threat, and I'll have bigger obstacles to get through. So that's kind of like the science part of it, like spiritually, vibrationally, right? Everything is energy. And so basically, I'm just moving from a scarcity mindset. And I think I talked about that in the last episode. Like, you do not want to move from a scarcity mindset. It just brings you more of what you don't want. So the present moment, like getting into that experience, using the breath, calming yourself down, and then taking whatever action it is from a place of alignment. Alignment is massive. This is a vibrational universe. Any scientist would agree with me. Everything is energy. We are energy too. We are energy too. So like attracts like. So if I'm moving from scarcity, if I'm moving from anger and judgment, I'm just going to get more reasons to feel that way. And I've learned that over the years, and this is tried and true. I have lived this so many times, and I'll tell you, I always get what I focus on. What we focus on expands. So that, to wrap this up and kind of tie it all in, I'm expanding my visualization for this event, and I'm starting to take it to 3 starting lines and 3 finish lines, and how that's going to feel. And I have some people that are going to be there along my side. You know who you are. And well, maybe not along my side because I think they're going to be faster than me. I'm not fast. I'm tough and I can go forever, but I'm not fast. But just to have people that I feel love for around me during the event is going to be like amazing. I'm so excited. So I'm feeling that. I'm feeling their energy. I'm seeing them successful as well. And if you are doing this event or you're signed up for another event and you're not visualizing, start visualizing. It goes back to what I said before. Once you send a set of neurons down a particular pathway, it's easier for those neurons to go down it. So they'll go down it, right? So that's how we pave neural pathways. We know that the brain has a quality of neuroplasticity. We can change it. If there's something about yourself that you don't like, a behavior, a thought pattern, you can change it. You can change it. The brain will respond to what you practice. That's it. That's all the intellect is. It's just a data center of everything we've practiced. Beliefs are just thoughts that we've practiced. And so visualization, the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between me sitting in my living room in Carlsbad, California, or me being on the start line in Argentina. It doesn't know the difference. So I'm training it now. So then when I show up, the subconscious mind's like, oh yeah, we've done this and we've been successful. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to have obstacles. Of course, I'm going to have obstacles. This is not about controlling a situation that I cannot control. But how do I want to feel at the race? Who do I want to be on that start line? What kind of energy do I want to share with people, along the way? When it gets really tough, because I know it's going to be like, who am I in those moments? And that's what I visualize. And I do feel the excitement and nervousness of the starting line. And I feel the relief and the satisfaction of each finish line. And when I wake up in the middle of the night to go get a glass of water or something, and I'm comfortable in my bed, but my legs are sore from training, like honestly, in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to do this. But then I snap back out of it and I'm like, girl, you have been doing stuff like this your whole life, like going big and taking risks and having adventures. And I am not immune to being like, I just want to be in my sweats with my golden retriever and my husband in my beautiful home, safe, but no, I'm going off and I'm having this huge adventure. And I'm so grateful for all of you for being along with me as I record these podcasts. So I hope there was something in today's episode for you. But yeah, visualization, it works. And then I'm going to give myself a little plug here because I have a mindset program. It's 8 weeks. And I think every athlete and every coach and every athlete absolutely needs to take this course. I priced it super low. It's like $47. And it's on the Yogi Triathlete website. I talk about visualization. I talk about obstacles. I guide you in breath work and meditation. It's really, I'm not just bragging. This is really good stuff. So anyway, if you're interested in that, or you're curious about what it really means to train the mind, check it out. It's an 8-week mindset course. Once you buy it, you have it forever. You can revisit it. It's awesome. I did it last year. So anyway, I'm signing off. I got to go to the gym before it closes. And I hope you all are having a wonderful day. And I am so grateful that you've been here with me. Even though I'm sitting in my living room and I'm talking into a mic, I imagine these words coming through your ears and into your heart and into your soul. It's so fulfilling. And I hope you have taken some things away that are helpful for you, but they're only helpful if you put them into action. Information and awareness, it changes nothing. You have to put it into action. Put it into aligned, conscious action, and you will live a really powerful life. All right. I'll catch up with you guys soon. This show is brought to you by Yogi Triathlete because you were born for more than just pushing through. We've been leading the way in holistic performance since the beginning, body, mind, and spirit. So thanks for tuning in. Stay awake, stay the course, and I'll meet you back here soon.